The DJI Mavic Air 2. Is it the perfect drone for first-time pilots? Or does it fly to heights only experienced pilots can reach? Let's quest. Hey friends, welcome to Quest for Tech, where every day is a quest to find the newest technology in video games.
With us being a new channel, we really appreciate your support. So do us a favor and like, subscribe, share, and comment below. And here we go.
Alright, so this is the DJI Mavic Air 2. It's the newest drone from DJI, straight out of their Mavic fleet. The Mavic Air 2 is DJI's follow-up to the Mavic Air that came out a couple years ago. The Mavic Air 2 has a greatly improved camera. It has a 1/2-inch image sensor, 4K 60 frames per second video, and still photos at up to 48 megapixels. The camera also has enhanced HDR for still photos, video, and panoramic photos. The camera also has numerous shooting modes for awesome cinematic content. You can shoot an 8K hyperlapse, and you can shoot multiple quick shots, which we'll go over today. The Mavic Air 2 also has an increased battery, with flight time of up to 34 minutes. You can fly smarter and safer with the APAS 3.0 obstacle avoidance. The Mavic Air 2 lets you fly further and see clearer with OcuSync 2.0. It lets you get up to 10 kilometers of 1080p 30 frames per second video transmission from the Mavic to your phone. The Mavic Air 2 makes you a master of the skies with Focus Track. It's an easy-to-use suite of intelligent tracking modes, including Active Track 3.0, Spotlight 2.0, and Point of Interest 3.0, allowing you to unleash your creativity. The Mavic Air 2 is on sale now for $799. That'll get you the aircraft, the remote controller, an intelligent flight battery, battery charger, an AC power cable, 3 low noise propellers, an RC cable USB Type-C, an RC cable lightning connector, and an RC cable standard micro USB connector. You also get the gimbal protector, 1 Type-C cable to charge the remote control, and 1 pair of spare control sticks. And if you want a little bit more bang for your buck, you can get the Mavic Air 2 Fly More combo for $988. Now we chose to go with the Fly More combo because we were going to buy an extra battery or 2 anyway. So let's see what it comes with. Okay, so this is the Mavic Air 2 Fly More combo, and you get a bunch of cool stuff with it. So let's go over it really quick. To the left, you get the Mavic Air 2 itself. In the middle, you get the controller. And behind it, you actually get a nice bag, which is big enough to carry everything. Up front, on the bottom, you get the 3 RCA power cables. So that's the USB Type-C, Type-A, and Lightning. And in the middle, you actually get the battery to power bank adapter, which is right there in the front. Behind it, you get a set of 3 filters, which are pretty cool to change the color of everything and, you know, the different hues of the light that will come in on the Mavic. And to the right, you obviously get the power adapter and the USB cable, which will charge the batteries and it will charge the controller at the same time. Up front, in front of the 3 batteries that you get, 1, 2, 3, you actually get the charging hub, which will charge all 3 batteries. Now it doesn't charge them at the same time. It charges 1, then 2, and 3, but you can plug them all up, plug it in, and not worry about it. Next to that in the back, you actually get a set of 6 propellers, and then you get the manuals right next to that. So you do get the 2 control sticks, which we have screwed in right now. They do unscrew and they do store in the bottom of the controller, which we'll go over in a second. Alright, so let's go over the controller next. Being a new drone pilot, the controller is very important. So let's take a closer look at it. Now this is the new design controller, different from the previous Mavic Air. DJI decided to go with a larger design so it's easier to hold in your hand. And then your phone goes up top here. Goes right in there, which I'll show you. So up front, you have the power, which if you hit the power once, it'll tell you how much battery you have. If you hit it twice and hold, then it will turn the controller on. Okay? So here on the left, this is the return to home button. Very important if you lose sight of your drone or you just need it to return to home without you flying it yourself, you just hold the RTH until it beeps. Now it always returns back to the last home point that it's stored. So when we get out and fly it, I'll show you how to record your last home point. Now here in the middle, you have your 3 different modes. These are your 3 different flight modes. By default, it's set in the middle at normal, okay? Normal is the most common mode that you're gonna fly in. So keeping this in the middle, your drone stays in normal mode, which means it still flies very quick, but the max speed for me has been around 18 to 24 miles per hour depending on the wind. And all your obstacle avoidance systems are gonna be on as long as you turn them on in the menus. Now, like I said, this is the most common mode to fly in, and you'll probably be using it a lot. So to the left, we have tripod mode. Now, tripod mode slows down everything on the drone and makes it comparable to a tripod. So it makes all the modes easier to film in. It slows everything down, like the speed and the overall control of the sticks when you're flying it. And it's super cool because you can get some of those nice stationary or slow shots and really just pan around an object very easily. Tripod mode also makes it easier to fly in smaller and more confined environments, or when you just want to make the drone easier to control. Now flipping this to the right, you get the super cool sport mode. Now sport mode unlocks the Mavic Air 2's full speed. It goes up to the advertised 42 miles per hour. It's great for speed flying, fast moving shots, or when you have a moving subject, or when you're flying behind and trying to keep up with moving vehicles. That's when we've used it a lot. However, it's important to note that when you fly in sport mode, all your obstacle avoidance is turned off. So you have full control over the drone. If you're flying around trees and you're worried that you might kind of ding a tree, you have to control the drone yourself because all the avoidance is turned off in sport mode, so just be careful when you're using it. Here on the top left is your function button. It has a few preset options that you can change what the button does, but right out of the box, it's set to turn on and off the light on the bottom of your drone. So you'll see it out there. Function button turns on and off that light, which is cool if you're night flying and you want to be able to see the drone a lot easier, or if you're trying to land on the pad, the LED light makes it a lot easier to see. So if you press it once, you get the light. If you press it twice, it actually will recenter your gimbal, which is in there. So if you have it pointed all the way down and you need to get it back up or to the center, you press it twice and it'll recenter your gimbal for you. Now on the top right, this button, this is the photo video toggle. It switches between shooting modes. Then on the top, you have the shoot and record video button. So you press this if you're in shoot mode to take a still image, and if you're in video mode, then you press it to start and stop recording your video. On the other side of the controller back here, this is your gimbal tilt. So this actually what makes the gimbal go up, down, middle. You just hold it either way and it'll make your gimbal go up and down, center. Now the thumbsticks, they are detachable and they actually come detached like that. And you have this cool little spot down here to store them when they're not in use. So you can easily put it into your bag. So then you just take them out. It's interesting trying to screw it from looking through a camera lens. Get it in the hole. All right, and then you just screw it in just like that. That is the new DJI Mavic Air 2 controller, and that's where you plug it in to charge it. Let's go out and fly. So as soon as you're ready to fly, you want to open up the DJI Fly App, and you want to check to see that you've done all the latest firmware and software updates. So when you're ready to go, you hit Go Fly, And this brings us into our main screen. I call this the flight screen. I don't know if that's the actual name from it, but it's my flight screen. So you can hit the red record button to start if you want. On your lower left, you'll see your height, you'll see your distance, you'll see your miles per hour. All the way on the lower left, you have a map that you can expand, and the map will show you where you are, where the drone is. And then in the lower right, you have your different exposure levels that you can adjust with the camera to increase like the brightness or whatnot. And when you're ready to go, you just hit the button in the center left, and that will be the takeoff button. So we'll hit the center left button, we'll hold to take off, and we're ready to go. So it will take off, it'll stay at 3.5 feet, and it will hover there until you instruct it on what to do next. So while we're hovering right now, we'll take a second and take you through the DJI Fly app and show you some of the settings that you can change. So when you open up the settings menu, the first thing you see is the safety. Here's where you can adjust your max altitude, your max distance that you want the drone to go to, and your auto return to home altitude. This is important, and what this does is this is the feet that the drone will fly to before it descends down to land when you do return to home. So mine is set to 108. We have a lot of trees around us. I want to make sure that the drone is high enough above the trees so when it's descending down to land, it can use the avoidance to avoid anything under it. Right under that is where you can update your home point. So let's say you moved areas and you want it to return to a different spot while it's in the air, you can update it. Or if you just want to update it to make sure you've done that. Sometimes I update it a second and third time just to make sure it's all good. You click it right here, update home point, and it will update your home point to return to where you last updated it from. And then looking at the bottom, you have the flight assistance area. So this is where we have our obstacle detection and our advanced pilot assistance system, or APAS. So by default, I believe APAS is turned off. So you want to make sure you turn obstacle detection on if it's not on, and turn APAS on. So when you turn the obstacle detection on, it's going to make the Mavic Air 2 beep anytime it notices anything in front of it, behind it, or under it that's in its way. It will beep and let you know, hey, don't go any further. And when you combine that with the APAS will enable the Mavic Air 2 to avoid obstacles automatically. So if you have a tree or a pole or something in front of you, it will actually fly around it and continue on its path. So I have both those on, and they're really cool to see them in action. And those are just two really big reasons that I want with the Mavic Air 2 being a new drone pilot, because I don't want to have any pilot errors. And if I can use the drone's technology to help me fly better, that's amazing. So that's one of the big reasons we went with the Mavic Air 2. And the next section is the control area. I am in the US, so I use Imperial. So I think out of the box it was set for metric or kilometers. So if you want to use feet instead of kilometers, then you want to change the units to Imperial. So next you have the gimbal mode. I keep it in follow mode. What that means is the gimbal remains fixed horizontally when the aircraft is moving. So this gives you more of a stabilized shot, so you don't have to worry about the gimbal moving with the drone. If you turn it on FPV mode, the gimbal will move with the drone moving. So if you make a sharp left turn, if you bank to the left, then the gimbal will bank to the left as well, and you'll get kind of a slanted video. So unless you're doing any specialized shots where you want to use it, follow mode is probably what you're going to use the most. Okay, so next you can change if you want to allow upward gimbal rotation. You can calibrate your gimbal. If it's not really balanced right, you want to recalibrate it. And then you have your remote controller. So this is where you can change what sticks you want to use and really totally customize the controller to work how you want it to. So right now, if I push the left stick up, the drone will go up. If I push it down, it'll go down. So if you'd like to change that, you can, and this is where you do it. So next you have the camera section. This is where you change your format. If you want to film an MP4 or MOV, you can change that here. You can change the color, you can change your coding, video subtitles. You can do a bunch of different camera options in this screen. You can film with a histogram, you can do overexposure, you can auto sync your photos, you can film with grid lines, you can change the white balance from auto to manual. This screen is all about how you're going to film and what formats you're going to record in. The most important area for me has been the storage. This is where you can see how much storage is on your card and how much you have in the drone internally. The Mavic Air 2 comes with 8 gigabytes internal. It's cool as a backup, but you definitely want to make sure that you have an SD. And this is also where you can turn on or off the cache when recording. Basically what that does is it makes a copy of all the videos and pictures that you film, and it records it to your phone. So I have cache on just as a backup, and you can actually choose the max video cache capacity. So right now it can go up to 16 gigs on your phone before it starts to delete the old stuff and make room for the new, so you don't fill up your phone with a bunch of recordings. So you can move that up or down, or you can change it to auto. Okay, then we have transmission. So this is where you can change the definition from HD to smooth. You can change the frequency if you want. We keep it on dual band because it's gonna get you the best signal between 2.4 or 5.8 gigahertz. And then you can also change the channel mode. Finally, you have the about section. This is gonna give you all your drone information. It'll tell you what firmware you have. It'll give you another area you can check for updates. This is where you get your drone serial number or any important information for your DJI warranty, and all that's in the about section. And you can even rename your drone at the top. Alright, so that was just a quick run through of some of the settings in the DJI Fly app. Let's take it up in the air and go through some of the shooting modes. Alright, so the first mode that we're going to look at is normal. Now, normal gives you a few different shooting options. You can either shoot in 4K, 2.7K, or 1080p. If you're shooting in 4K, you can shoot at 24, 25, 30, 48, 50, or 60 frames per second. And if you're filming in 2.7K, you can film in 24, 25, 30, 48, 50, or 60 frames per second. And finally, if you're shooting in 1080p, you can shoot at 24, 25, 30, 48, 50, or 60 frames per second. Now, right under the normal mode is HDR. HDR filming is amazing. You can really see the difference in light and how colors just pop in HDR. Now, if you're filming in HDR mode, you can only record 4K in 24, 25, or 30 frames per second. So since being able to film in 4K 60 frames per second is new to the Mavic Air 2 this year, let's take a look at how that footage looks. Wow, we film in 4K 60 a lot. It looks amazing, and the shots are super smooth because of that 60 frames per second. Now let's take a look at some of the quick shots. The first quick shot is droney. Now when you're filming the droney shot, the camera centers in on the target that you select, and the drone ascends backward at an incline. And you can select the distance that the drone travels backwards. And with any of these quick shots, all you do is tap the person or whatever subject you want. It'll have you hold to draw a little square around them, and then you just hit start, and the drone will do the rest. So here's a droney shot that we did. We decided to pick 380 feet just to see how far the drone will go. And after your drone completes the shot, it will stop recording and it will return right back to where it started the shot from. The next quick shot we're going to try out is rocket. Now the rocket shot is when the camera focuses down on whatever target you select and the drone ascends at a rapid speed straight up. Now you can choose from 80 feet all the way up to 260 feet, and we picked 260. The next quick shot we did is circle. Now in the circle quick shot, the drone centers the camera on whatever target you select, and it circles around at a constant altitude. And the next quick shot is called helix. In the helix quick shot, the drone ascends while flying in a spiral that expands gradually with the camera centered on whatever target you select. And with helix, you can select anywhere from 80 to 380 feet. Yeah, helix was super cool. That was really fun to do. I can imagine taking some really cool shots using helix. Next up is boomerang. Now with the boomerang quick shot, the drone will circle your target at a diagonal incline before returning right back to the start point, just like a boomerang. And finally, we have one of the coolest quick shots, in my opinion, Asteroid. So with Asteroid, the drone will fly to a max height that you choose and shoot a spear-shaped panorama shot. It looks so cool. The actual way that the drone films this shot, it's traveling to a height that you select. Then it's kind of looks like it's going crazy, taking a bunch of different pictures. So it looks a lot better to just show you what the outcome of the Asteroid shot is. Let's check it out. So another cool shooting mode is called Pano, and this is where the drone will take a bunch of different panoramic-like pictures. The different panoramic pictures it takes are called Spear, 180, Wide Angle, and Vertical. Now these aren't videos, they're all still shots. So let's show you how each of them looks. Alright, well that was just some of the shooting modes that you can do on the Mavic Air 2. Now let's take a look at some of the Mavic Air 2 features that all pilots are going to love. The first is APAS. So right now what we're doing is we're flying around some trees, and then we also flew in a parking lot with a bunch of poles. And when you turn APAS on, the drone will automatically go around trees and go around poles or anything in its way. As we mentioned earlier, the Mavic Air 2 has sensors on the front, the back, and the bottom. So if it's anything in its way in front of it, behind it, or under it, it will avoid it. Now keep in mind it doesn't have any sensors on the sides or above it. So if you are approaching any objects that it can't see in the front, the back, or under it, you could have some issues with the Mavic Air 2 possibly tapping it. So just keep that in mind when you're flying. The Mavic Air 2 is also really good at tracking. So you have a few options when you want to track something. First thing you want to do is lock onto your target. When you have something in view that you want to track, you want to hold your finger over it. You want to drag your finger over it until you see the square. Once it's inside of the square, you're locked on the target. Once the Mavic Air 2 is locked on the target, you get three options that pop up. First is active track. Second is spotlight. Third is point of interest. Now with spotlight, the target stays centered in your shot while you control the aircraft. And with POI, you can select a specific point of interest where you want the Mavic 2 to focus on in film, and it will do so. But the one we're going to check out now is active track. With active track, once you select a target, the Mavic Air 2 will follow it automatically. So after selecting active track, you have two options: trace or parallel. If you select trace, the Mavic Air 2 will follow behind your target and it'll track it while keeping it in center shot. If you select parallel, the Mavic Air 2 will fly parallel to your target while also keeping it in center shot. So let's check out a trace active track. Now the Mavic Air 2 has an awesome camera. One really cool thing that the camera does is shoot 48 megapixel stills. So if you want to take pictures of landscape or anything that would look great in a high quality picture and have it blown up to be a poster or put something on your wall, these 48 megapixel stills are really, really cool to have. Now we showed you before some of the shots that we were able to get recording in 4K 60. Now when you're flying in the sport mode, when the Mavic Air 2 is able to reach its top speed of around 42 miles an hour, if you're recording in 4K 60, you flip it into sport mode, you can really get some awesome fast-paced shots. Let's take a look at one of those. So here, just flying over the water, 4K 60 frames a second, looks amazing. Another great feature is the ABS. Now, ABS is going to show you any aircrafts that are in your area when you're flying, whether it's a plane, a helicopter, or even another drone. You'll see this little icon that pops up on your screen, and it will warn you that there's another aircraft in your area, giving you time to decrease your speed and your altitude to give you time to safely maneuver far away from any other aircraft in your area. One of my favorite features being a new drone pilot is the return to home. For me, there's nothing scarier than losing your signal. I had seen it happen to other pilots, and they kept calm, cool, and collective, but the first time it happened to me and it said signal loss and I realized I had no control over my drone, kind of just felt my heart kind of drop. So it's really cool to know that you have that return to home option, because when I lost my signal, I hit return to home and the drone came right back to me, and I actually was able to regain my signal, I don't know, maybe about 15 seconds after hitting the button. So it's an awesome feature to have. Okay friends, so we just covered a lot, and there's still so much more the Mavic Air 2 does well. We just wanted to give you a review from the perspective of new drone pilots. Now, at the beginning of the video, we asked if the Mavic Air 2 was the perfect drone for new pilots, or if it flew to heights that only seasoned pilots could reach. And our answer is an overwhelming yes. This is the perfect drone for new pilots. With the simple and reprogrammable responsive controls, we were able to pick up the new controller and start flying right away. And with smart features like ABS, APAS, obstacle avoidance, and return to home, we were able to learn to fly with confidence. The Mavic Air 2 is also a great drone for seasoned pilots. With a variety of shooting modes like follow and hyperlapse, adjustable exposures and camera features, filters, and the super powered sport mode, anyone can get professional footage with the Mavic Air 2. So here at Quest for Tech, we rate our reviewed products on a 4-star scale, and the Mavic Air 2 gets an absolute 4 stars. We love this drone. It's smart, it's easy to use, it takes great pictures and video, and most importantly, it's fun. Thank you so much for sticking with us, friends. You're greatly appreciated. Please give us a sub to keep seeing us Quest for Tech. And if you like the video, hit that like button. Have an amazing day, friends, and never stop questing.